Back from the dead against Limerick, Conor O'Brien's on today, Shane McGrath midfield and Bonner Maher up centre forward or wing forward. That's 3 changes, and you'd have to say the Tip line-out looks stronger and their subs look strong. Now, Jim Barry Murphy went well during the league and then has revamped the side because he found against Kilkenny, and of course they are the best team around, that they just weren't good enough. So like Keane O'Sullivan's brought back in, he has 4 or 5, you know, they have been around, but he has 5 switches from the last day. It's a lot, but they're playing at home, and I think Tip have only won once or twice down in Park Key, but I'd expect Tip to get through. Their greater experience should carry them through.
Ger, looking a bit drier than you did last night down in Board Beach.
Look, I've dried out after that long night, yeah.
I'm just about drying out myself. Yeah. We're looking here at a Tip team that were Ireland champions 2 years ago against a Cork side that continue, as Cyril said, to be trying to find the new Cork, if you like.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're a Tip team that we're all Ireland champions, but in that year they went down to Cork and were beaten by 9 points below in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So,
sure, okay.
You know, I know they haven't played that often in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, but they find it hard to win down there. You know, now Declan Ryan has made, you know, he's doing a great effort to improve the weak areas. You know, the ones we pointed out the last day, the right side of the defence, their midfield, their half-forward line. So they're getting towards the best team they can have, I think, Tipperary. Now, as well as that, look at their bench. You know, Lark Corbett, Owen Kelly, Shane Burke, Seamus Canlon. You know, they have a terrific bench, probably a stronger bench than Cork, you know. And if they're to win this game, I think definitely they'll have to call on the bench. Now, Cork, Jimmy Barry Murphy has done exactly the right thing because, you know, Kilkenny like teaching lessons to up-and-coming teams. And he learned the lesson from that, you know, that they weren't going to win anything with the team that was there the last day. 6 changes, as Cyril has said there, you know, so he might as well cut loose with young lads, give them a go, like a Sean Ogue on the sideline, John Gardner on the sideline today. A brave decision by him, but I think to lead to a very competitive and a great game.
Because, you see, the thing is, you can see fellas like Joanne Cantwell.
Jimmy, I would say you and your lads are absolutely dying to get a championship match under your belts, are you?
Yeah, well, it's been quite a while since the league final, obviously, and getting over the disappointment of that took a few weeks, I suppose, but having said that, we've prepared well and really looking forward to today's game.
And do you think you fixed whatever went wrong in that league final?
Well, I hope so. Time will tell. As I say, we learned a lot from it, we think, and hopefully we'll try and put into practice trade lessons we learned from that. And but we had a positive league campaign in general, and we brought some very good young players into the team during the league, and I feel that we've made progress, certainly. But again, today will tell us a bit more about that, I think.
Yeah, exactly, isn't it? It's very much so about seeing how those young players perform on the big stage.
It is, really, and I mean, Tipperary have the advantage of playing a game against Limerick already, which is certainly a help. But you know, I'm hoping the fact that we're playing at home here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh is a factor, and that we can use that to our advantage.
Declan, you weren't overly impressed with your opening performance. How much better do you expect Tip to be today?
Yeah, I think we started off poorly against Limerick, but our guys have prepared very well now over the last couple of weeks there, and I think there's a big display in them. Hopefully we'll see today.
You made some tough calls as well for today's game. No Owen Kelly in the starting 15.
Yeah, it's not easy to leave off some of the guys we've left off today, you know, especially Owen. He's been a fantastic servant. He is a fantastic servant for Tipperary, you know, and he's a great option to have on the bench there. We're delighted to have him.
And we saw how well your bench worked for you the last day. I'll ask you the same question I asked you before the last match. How likely are we to see Lara Corbett today?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll see Lara. You know, we have a lot of good forwards on the bench there, Lara and Owen, especially Shane Burke. You know, so I think there's a good chance you'll see some in action today anyway.
By the way, we've heard that Tip have won the toss down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh and have elected Cyril to play against the Breeze.
2 or 3 years ago, top midfield partnership. Now, Shane has got a bit of injury since, but like Sweetman is a big cog in the Cork team. But if he plays well, like, you know, it'll be interesting because the Tip midfield, the last day I thought, the last 10 or 15 minutes got completely on top against Limerick.
Who's to win it?
I think Tip will get there. Their experience should see them through, and their extra bench.
Experience for Tip, Gerald?
Well, what I'm really looking forward to, Michael, is to see, you know, at the end of this game, will we be saying there is a team here that has a prospect of giving a challenge to Kilkenny for the championship this year? If there is going to be, I would imagine with their experience as well, I'd agree with Cyril that it should be Tipperary, but it's going to be very tight.
On the basis of experience then, the 2 lads are going for Tip.
Gavin of Offaly will referee this game. So here we go, Munster semi-final day. A couple of clashes off the ball, one involving Cathal Nocton and Pádraig Maher, but the ball hasn't even been thrown in, and Brian Gavin is over to sort this out with the 2 men. Extremely fired up, and Maher ends up on the deck. Pat Cronin getting involved. This wasn't the sort of action that we expected, and there's been a yellow card issued to Pádraig Maher even before the ball has been thrown in, Donald.
Well, that's most unusual because Cathal Nacton is a most genteel sort of player. I didn't see the start with Barra, to be honest with you, so I'm not quite sure. But I saw Brian Gavin on across, and he get things going as fast as he can.
And the ball finally thrown in. Tipperary on the attack straight away. That was Tom Kenny, and now Shane O'Neill out to try and clear for Cork. The start of this, even with that yellow card, it'll be even more frantic now. Bonner-Marr for Tipperary. Drilled that over the head of John O'Brien. Big Brian O'Mara in super form, we hear, and Conor O'Sullivan blocking the first one down, and that's a big boost for Conor O'Sullivan. Had a torrid time against Lar Corbett in this fixture 4 years ago. Shane McGrath over his shoulder, forward for O'Brien. Chance for Tipperary, and there is the first score of this Munster semi-final. Put over the bar by Noel McGrath.
Yeah, plenty movement there in the tip full forward line, and Noel McGrath crossing across from the left, operating at full forward, crossed across, and poor ball by Conor O'Sullivan coming out of the defence, put Cork under pressure, and good score. That will settle the tip down certainly.
And Torrick Marr has the yellow card against him already. Paddy O'Sullivan going down, free given to Cork. The Rocks brother, he's been in good form all through the league, and Cork want a big game out of him today.
Paddy Marr just missing the puck out, and a good recovery there by Paddy Sullivan, and Paddy Marr on a yellow card already from before the game. We want to be very, very careful. You know, discipline is going to be important, and you know, if you put your hand around the person's neck or hurley, you could be in trouble. Patrick
Horgan, the captain, with the responsibility from the place ball, and he slotted that over, and Cork draw level. Horgan has been seen out around his home club Glen Rovers practicing at 7 o'clock in the morning some days, and the practice paying off. A point apiece. Brian Murphy, as you saw him, not on the edge of his own square. The ball has gone out over the line. Michael Cahill getting involved now with Jamie Coughlin. Coughlin, the 20-year-old, on his championship debut. It's a new right side to the Cork attack.
Yeah, Michael Cahill winning the ball there and slipping out, and I think Jamie Coughlin. And I think that's the Cork's policy, try and get the ball as quickly as possible.
Now Coughlin after a short sideline cut, and he's gone past Cahill. Jamie Coughlin inside, goal chance, and it's put over the bar by Darren Sweetnam on his championship debut. The 19-year-old, he's a fantastic rugby player as well, but he's pretty good at hurling, as you can see.
Yeah, great run by Jamie Coughlin here, and a nice pass. Good tackle by Tip, and they put Darren Sweetnam under pressure. He stuck the ball over the bar, but a very, very good run, and I think Cork will be trying to get through and run at the Tip defence as often as possible.
Brendan Cummins straight down the middle, getting good distance on that. No 45-metre lines on the pitch today, as you can see. Shane O'Neill of Cork, he's got help from Lorcan McLaughlin from Cantor. Been put under pressure. It's a Cork line ball.
As Noel McGrath has drifted away over to the far corner, and if the ball comes back quickly, they could be in trouble.
Lorcan McLaughlin got that from William Egan. Conor O'Mahony sweeping up behind. He did it so well against Limerick, particularly in the air. Caught some serious ball for them in the final 15 minutes when they came back into the game. Owen Cadigan, the dual star. Conor Lahan. Blocked down brilliantly by Brendan Marr. Skips away from Pa Burke, but Lahan is on it. These guys have pace to burn. Lahan off his left side, going for the point and getting a brilliant score for Conor Lahan on his championship debut, and these young guys know no fear.
Well, Cork are showing great commitment there, and that ball won by Conor Lahan. Good run across the middle, but Tip will be very, very disappointed with Pa Burke. I think he left the ball after himself. He should have committed himself a bit harder for that one.
3 unanswered points from Cork. Lahan involved again. That's up for Paddy O'Sullivan to try and chase after. It's Michael Cahill picking him up. O'Sullivan spins one way, then the other. Has help on the 20-metre line. That was too short, though. It was intended for Patrick Horgan, but Paul Curran has it for Tip, and here they come again. Tom Stapleton drilling it right down the middle. 2 players put hands up, but nobody got the ball for Cork. Now they have it with Tom Kenny. New lease of life for him at right half back. Now William Egan shortens the stick and fires it forward. Michael Cahill in the best position for Tipperary to get to that first. He's got Coughlin with him, and it's come off Cahill again, and Coughlin
back onto it very quickly.
Darren Sweetnam has a point already. He's cut that well, but it's just off target.
Tip defence under a bit of pressure.
Brendan Cummins favouring this side with the puck out. The hand goes up from John O'Brien, drifting out to the wing. Now it's Brendan Maher for Tipperary. Has options left and right. Maher still going. Tried to pull on it, and the free has been given to Tipperary. Maher ended up on the deck, and Brian Gavin on hand to give Tipperary an easy free.
Well, Jimmy Barry Murphy will be very, very disappointed with his defence that time. They did everything right. Brendan Maher had run into a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, he was their top scorer in the league. No Kelly or Corbett in the Tipperary team today. Well, he made the defenders think about it. Pa Burke put it over and brings an end to Cork's run of 3 points in a row.
Great take there. And that's, you know, Tips half-backs and midfielders are particularly good in the air, and Noel McGrath adding to his height there. Right, good take.
Pa Cronin, good in the air for Cork. Cronin having a go at this. Wind helping him remember the championship. Waiting in reserve on the bench with an awful lot of attacking talent. O'Halpine and Gardner there for Cork as well. It's when you use them, though. That ball is still in play. Lorcan McLaughlin improvised the pickup, but John O'Brien has it for Tipperary. Brendan Maher letting the ball go in early, very early. Noel McGrath got a touch on that, but Conor O'Sullivan racing back for Cork and improvised the clearance, and Owen Cadigan with a huge clearance for Cork. All the way, defence into attack straight away. Patrick Horgan tried to get it for Cork, but left it after it. Cork forwards putting real pressure on the Tipperary backs when they try and come out with the ball. Cahill Naughton, they've had 2 wides, but that one has gone over. Wonderful score from Naughton. Tipperary were in charge of that situation, but pressure from the Cork forwards paid off, and Naughton did the rest.
Yeah, that's the feature of the Cork forward line. They're putting great pressure on the Tipperary defence, and Naughton is switching with Conor Lehan, and they're asking questions of the Tip wing backs, and fine score there by Conor Naughton, and that'll settle them down a bit.
Cork by 4-2. Brendan Cummins has been busy. Cadigan pulled on that first time. Darren Sweetenham across, took it away from Bonner-Maher. Tipperary.
And Cadigan just launched a big one there, whereas I think they might be better off if they tried to spray the ball out to the wing forwards.
Didn't catch it great, Noel McGrath from the cut, but O'Mara has it. Now it is Garrod Ryan. He'll drift all over the place. And Ryan has put it over for Tipperary. Good score. Good work done inside by O'Mara, and Garrod Ryan slotting it over.
Yeah, a fine score by Garrod Ryan there. Played excellently 2 years ago in the All-Ireland final, and struggling for a bit of form in the league, but you know, that'll settle him down. Good score.
4th meeting of the year. Brilliant from Pat Cronin, catching it first time shooting. He deserves a score for the catch alone. 2 he's caught cleanly in the air. And a wonderful score. Best of the match so far from Pat Cronin.
Yeah, great score, great fielding there, right above Pádraig Maher, who'd be their main man in the back line, and a great score from Pat Cronin. That'll surely settle him, and you know, big fillip for Cork.
It's an area Cork will target. Not first of all to let Pádraig Maher get the ball in his hand. Normally so good in the air. Here's the Bonner-Maher for Tipperary. Cork putting it up to them in the early stages. Out in front is Noel McGrath. That was comfortable for Tipperary.
Yeah, Noel McGrath there is operating at full forward, and you know, that's a matchup. He's bigger than Conor O'Sullivan and height, and I think they're trying to isolate Conor O'Sullivan and get Noel McGrath in his own. Excellent point, very simple, and nice score stuck over by Noel McGrath, his second.
The reply from Cork upcoming with Darren Sweetenham. 3 in.
Have got their scores probably slightly a bit easier than Cork, and Cork have a nice fresh breeze with them, and this is an important free
for Patrick Horgan. Crowd behind on the terrace like it. White flag goes up.
On the Tipperary defence if they hope to win this one.
Huge puck again from Cummins, and a wonderful catch from Pa Burke, and he lets it off to the Bonner-Maher. Bonner-Maher boring through for Tipperary. Angle difficult, side netting. Side netting. What a catch.
Great take there from Pa Burke, and he's not noted for going high in the air, but brilliant, and offloaded the Bonner-Maher. He might have been better off to stop and knock the ball back to the 20-metre line.
Tom Stapleton got a touch on that in front of Conor Lehan, who hasn't had a chance to run at the Tipperary backs just yet. They'll have to be vigilant. A real collision in there, and it's tidied up for Cork by Brian Murphy. 3 on his back, regarded as one of the best cornerbacks in the game. Lorcan McLaughlin letting the ball do the work, and The defending in there done by Michael Cahill, but again there's Cork pressure as they swarm around the tip backs when they try and take the ball away. Patrick Horgan, Conor O'Brien there behind him, and Horgan has been caught high, perhaps around the helmet area. They've got a free in. He will hope to recover and slot this over.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that again. He ran into the fence, just a little tug, I think, on him, and he went down, slid down. You know, he might have been looking for the free as well, Darragh, because he was going.
Patrick Horgan, unusual lifting action, but as you can see, it's very effective. 7-4 Cork.
Yeah, he struck the ball very hard, much the same.
Sun comes out in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Brian Murphy had hands on that, he's got it. Lets it move, Lorcan McLaughlin. Lower ball this time, gave the defender a bit of a chance, and squirted away. Now for Cork, it's Jamie Coughlin. Had a glance at the post, Coughlin. The roar tells you it's gone over. These young guns are absolutely flying.
Yeah, brilliant play by Jamie Collin there. I thought he might release Conor Lehan at one stage, but good score.
And it brought about a different puck out for Brendan Cummins. He didn't go long with that, he went short on that occasion. Garrod Ryan for Tipperary. All very tight. Here's John O'Brien. Over-elaborating. Garrod Ryan has it again, a little bit of space to do his work, and that's drifted over the shoulder of Noel McGrath. Conor O'Sullivan just in front of him for Tipperary. They're queuing up as they look for possession. Pa Burke has to dig it out, steadies down, shoots and scores, and that's gone over. And that was comfortable again for Tipperary, wasn't it?
You'd have to say that the running of Noel McGrath, who's operating as a full forward, being opposed by Conor O'Sullivan, his movement is superb, and he's setting up a lot of scores for Tip.
They've only got 5 of them, but the last couple they haven't had to work particularly hard for them, Tipperary. Conor O'Mahony put the hand up, there was a hurl went towards the hand. O'Mahony's gone down clutching his injured hand. Michael Cahill for Tipperary, he's been made to work all the way through, and again it's Patrick Horgan of Cork putting pressure on him. Coughlin was doing it earlier.
Inside forwards are putting great pressure, and Michael Cahill really
Tricky enough angle. Horgan, beautifully done. That's a quality point. And the indiscipline in the Tip full back line punished again by Patrick Horgan.
Yeah, that's his 4th-3. Darragh. Cork have 9 scores, and 4 from frees, and all expertly put away by Pat Horgan, and you can see from the way he tackled Michael Cahill that his confidence is up.
Brendan Cummins going with the long puck out right down the middle. Pa Burke got across towards it. Brendan Maher could have got it, but it's Pa Burke instead. Burke for Tipperary. They do that well, and he does it extremely well. That is another point for Pa Burke.
Yeah, excellent score here, and Tip's movement, I think, is causing big problems for Cork's defence, and Tip seem to be picking up their points a little bit easier than Cork. Cork getting maybe mostly frees, but Tip, anytime they attack, they're doing well.
Ulrich Maher put the hand up, couldn't hang on to it, got it second time around. Brendan Maher lets it move quickly. O'Mara was there, and Noel McGrath indeed, and now Bonner Maher. And Brian O'Mara, good score, very good score. Just shifting through the gears, 2 points behind.
Yeah, good score again by Tip, good movement, but you'd have to say that Cork defenders should have got clear. They had the ball at one stage, mix up between Conor O'Sullivan and Owen Cadigan, and Tip are back. Every time Cork score, Tip come back with a score. Ding-dong struggle here. Excellent game to this.
Nash went for Park Cronin, now Paddy O'Sullivan. Great pick, he's no stick anymore though. Goal scoring chance, it's put over by Jamie Coughlin. Paddy O'Sullivan lost the stick, but put it on a plate for Coughlin.
Yeah, the ball just went off the head, I think, of Park Cronin and came through, lost his hurley. And Jamie Collin will be disappointed. Should have taken a step inside, or a couple of steps inside, just to lose the cornerbacks and give himself an angle. That's 2 goal chances that Cork have had now, and they've missed both of them.
So far in this Munster semi-final, we've had a point a minute. Darren Sweetman made it easy for Shane McGrath, and the ball turned over, and now it's Brian O'Mara, who's very difficult to stop in full flight. They managed to do it though. Shane O'Neill in close to him. Shane McGrath trying to come out the back of that ruck or maul or whatever. Anyway, Tipperary, you've got a free in. So Burke with the strike and with the point for Tipperary. It's really good stuff. Anthony Nash. It was a slip by Pa Cronin. Cronin has got it back after really good work from Darren Sweetnam. Brought down by Stapleton. Padraig Maher pulled on it. First time Tipperary have it. McGrath again continuing.
Certainly is having a very good game up to now.
Conor O'Sullivan with the cut for Cork, but it's not a particularly good one. Brendan Maher had to go one-handed with that. Owen Cadigan put his hand up after it. John O'Brien shortens the stick. Now Brendan Maher getting involved, and William Egan did extremely well coming across him. Garrod Ryan trying to dig it out for Tipperary. Cork have it backed up. That's out of play. Tom Kenny conceding the line ball. Frantic stuff.
Nice little block there by William Egan coming across, knocked the ball away from Brendan Maher. Tom Kenny showing his experience, not throwing up because he thought he might be flicked and lost, and unlucky to knock it over the line.
Noel McGrath putting pressure on Padraig Maher, but he coped with it extremely well. Burke putting the hand up after that. Bonner Maher got involved too. Darren Sweetnam clears for Cork. Padraig O'Sullivan drifting out the field. Wonderful from Padraig O'Sullivan. Steadies down, shoots. He deserves a score, and he's got one. Really fine point from Padraig O'Sullivan. Great skill to set himself up, and he slotted it over. 11-8.
Yeah, marvellous skill there. You know, to remind you, Kilkenny do a lot of that, knock the ball down onto the way they're running, and lovely point. And most of Cork forward, 5 of Cork forwards have scored from playing on. Pat Hogan 4, chipped in with 4 frees.
Cork by 11 points to 8. Lorcan McLaughlin doing really well in the air. It's Patrick Horgan, and Horgan, oh, what a glorious point from Patrick Horgan. Stunning.
Yeah, great score. He must have been listening to me, Dara, that you know, felt out of things. But that's all. Cork's 6 forwards now have scored from playing. That was an excellent point. And you would have to say that both forward lines have the defences under pressure. Anytime the ball goes in for Cork, they have a good chance of scoring, and so have tipped.
Shorter puck from Brendan Cummins. Tom Stapleton. Assistance from Michael Cahill. He's no stick anymore though. Stapleton finally lets it go. Brian O'Mara out there with Shane O'Neill. Bonner Maher again, the ejection of pace. He ran straight into a brick wall in the shape of Owen Cadigan. Now Pa Burke, free in tip coming. William Egan was closest to that as Burke ended up on the ground. Into that bit of a breeze. Pa Burke keeping it low as a result and slotting it over.
That was an excellent score. Excellent score there. That was an easy free. Struck it very, very well.
Cork has got 3 of Tipperary's last 4 points. Bonner Maher with Owen Cadigan. That's quite a battle between the two of them. Here's Brian O'Mara. Fires that back. Help from Garrod Ryan. Ryan was hooped by Lorcan McLaughlin. And Cork have the ball. Well, they had it, lost it, and the foul given to Cork. Brian O'Mara not impressed with the referee's decision.
Yeah, well, correct decision. Shane O'Neill won the ball in the air, and Brian O'Mara came up and just tackled him in the chest. That's the great hook there by Lorcan McLaughlin. That could have gone over the bar, so Cork lucky to get away with it maybe, but they'll be delighted. And let's see what happens now with this ball from Anthony Nash. Drops probably the edge of the square.
Yeah, he can really hit them. That is going to drop in an interesting position. It breaks loose. Conor O'Mahony back there for Tipperary. He's fouled though. He's fouled. It's a free out. Brendan Cummins.
Pat Cronin trying to get past Conor O'Mahony. Would have been much better. Not, you know, discipline was important there. Forced the Tipperary defence get the ball out.
Padraig Maher free from the Cummins free. Half blocked as he played that forward. Now it's the Bonner Maher. Injuries restricted his game time during the league. Pucking that into space over for Shane McGrath. Darren Sweetnam has gone across to him, and McGrath has gone past him, but he's still on his shoulder and managed to hook him as well. But Shane McGrath still going for Tipperary. Now Noel McGrath, and the ball has gone wide.
Well, I don't know about that, Dara. I think the last man was a Cork man just to knock the ball there. I think that might end up as a 65 for Tip.
It is a 65.
Just Shane O'Neill just flicked it away at the last minute, and Noel McGrath claiming it, and I think Brian Gavin made a decision over the umpire there.
Yep.
So
With just over 10 minutes to the break here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. He struck them beautifully all afternoon, and he's continued that.
Well, to be fair to say that Páirc Burke is probably, you know, the most consistent forward that Tip had during the league, and especially against Limerick as well. He's played very well, and you know, unerring from frees.
So Cronin and Shane McGrath for Tipperary having a very good game. And Brian O'Mara is doing likewise, way out in front of his marker. Now Gerard Ryan for Tipperary, switching the play and inviting Noel McGrath to drift out and take Conor O'Sullivan with him. Bonner waits about 30 metres from the Cork goal, and that is a 65 this.
Of course, one of the top full-backs in the game.
And Páirc Burke is just so consistent, firing that over from the 65, and just a point between them. 3 in a row now for Tipperary, 3 in a row for Páirc Burke. Pádraig Maher comes up with the Cork puck out. Oh, brilliant. That was Lorcan McLaughlin. No, it was Cathal Naughton indeed. Now, here comes Pat Cronin of Cork. Fired at Darren Sweetman, was a bit too quick. Paul Curran made it very difficult for himself. Conor O'Brien threw himself on the ball, and the referee has given Cork the free.
Fair result, but I don't think Cork will quibble with that.
Patrick Horgan with the free. Slotted that over, no trouble. Free takers on form today, Páirc Burke and Patrick Horgan. 13-11 Cork. Sweetnam was under that. It was the stick of Brendan Maher which touched it towards the Bonner Maher. Owen Cadigan there with him. Cadigan's found him a real handful. Brian O'Mara was hooked just as he took the shot, and the ball has gone wide.
Looked as if Brian Buggy O'Mara was going to stuck it over the bar in a great hook.
Anthony Nash of Pat Cronin just took his eye off it. Here's Conor Lahan, has been willing to shoot, and perhaps should have taken half a second.
Straight at goal and try and link up with one of the inside forwards.
Hasn't really had an opportunity to do it. Brendan Maher made time for himself. That's gone a bit short. Gives the defenders from Cork a chance to get out for it, and after a fashion they get it. Owen Cadigan foul. John O'Brien claiming it was side to side, but it was a fair bit away, and there's a yellow card for John O'Brien for that.
And Gavin very quick giving him a yellow card.
Nash coming out to take the free for Cork. This could be interesting. Brendan Cummins. Oh, he lost it. The whistle had gone, though. The whistle had been blown by the referee. Brendan Cummins, the ball came off his left hand and into the back of the net.
Well, I clearly heard the whistle up there before the ball had landed. Maybe when the whistle went that he lost concentration, but possibly for a square ball, I'm not quite sure, but big decision.
And it's gone against Cork, and this free though goes their way. And John O'Brien, who has got a yellow card against him, just took the ball into the ground, and the referee ran over towards him. He's moved the ball forward for descent. Here it is again.
Yeah, I think Pat Cronin was actually behind Brian Cummins. Just see what happens.
Very deliberate pick up again, and Horgan looking anxiously after it, and the reason for that is because he knew from the
drop it at the edge of the square and see what happens, particularly after that last one where Brendan Cummins missed it.
Or would Nash have had a go? Anthony Nash, the Cork goalkeeper, plays outfield at times for his club, has an eye for goal, we're told, but he would have fancied a go at that. But Cork are under pressure now. Brendan Maher had 2 goes at taking possession of the ball, and that was a really nice point from Brendan Maher. And Tipperary back to within 1.
And again, Dara, Cork's defence had that ball, should have cleared it maybe, and were robbed, and lovely pass and a point. And you know, ding-dong struggle, and Cork's dominance of the puck out has dried it a bit, and Tipper coming back into the game.
Paul Curran did well initially, but Cork have got it back. Páirc Cronin, no, now it's Tipperary's ball again. Shane McGrath, low into the corner. Brian O'Mara got up quite a gallop to get out there in front of Shane O'Neill. And O'Mara is such a strong man, he just helped O'Neill, eased him away from the ball. Shortens the stick, now it's the Bonner Maher. Little bit of space, Maher boring through, heading for goal, but he's lost control of the ball. It's put out for a 65, and Cork happy to give it. Ryan is going to come off, but we're watching Pa Burke now from the 65 to bring Tipperary level. He's been flawless up to now. Big pressure on him. He didn't catch that at all right. Anthony Nash fouled on the way out. I think by John O'Brien, who really needs to mind himself. Here he is.
You would have to say that he's Corbett coming out. No, that might disturb the balance of the Tipperary forward line. Noel McGrath will probably go to wing forward. Now Corbett in the corner, but a massive roar of welcome.
His 49th championship appearance. The goal-scoring record, you know all about it. 26 goals, 67 points as well. He's been working hard since his return in the last 4 weeks and doing some private hurling sessions with Tommy Dunn, we're told. Pa Burke. It's gone away from Corbett. Owen Cadigan elected to bat it down. Wasn't the correct choice. Brendan Maher for Tipperary. John O'Brien out fencing with it a little bit. Lorcan McLaughlin been put under pressure, serious pressure. William Egan came across to try and get it. O'Brien down on his knees. Who's got the ball? It's Lorcan McLaughlin of Cork. Belts it forward. Paddy O'Sullivan not in the right position initially to get that, but the error from Paul Curran gave him half an opportunity, and O'Sullivan hasn't given that up. There's a tussle off the ball. There were some hurleys flying as Conor O'Mahony comes out with it for Tipperary. O'Sullivan across after it. Michael Cahill there has been put under a lot of pressure all day by the Cork forwards. Now for Tipperary, it's Shane McGrath, just threw the ball away. Onto it is Patrick Horgan. Brilliant passage of play this from the two teams, and Horgan steadies down and shoots and fires that over. And a huge moment in this Munster semi-final. Several times Tipperary, their backs had control of the ball, but Cork put them under relenting pressure, and they lead by 2.
And that's a huge psychological score, Dara, particularly when you wrestle the ball from defenders. And Patrick Horgan, excellent score, right? And you would have to say that both forward lines are on top, but here we see him going through there, right? Shorten the hurley up, right, to avoid the hook, and beautiful point.
1 added minute, we're told, at the end of the first half. The first score after Lar Corbett's introduction is Cork's. Bonner went to pull on that first time. Darren Sweetnam has given it inadvertently straight to Shane McGrath. McGrath had a Cork man on his shoulder. Now it's Brian O'Mara. O'Mara trying to bore a way through. He hasn't caught that shot well. He was half blocked down, and the referee has spotted something in there, and he's given Cork, or given Tipperary indeed, a free in. Was it John O'Brien been fouled in there? But Brian Murphy been spoken to by...
Of the attack might be upset a little bit, because Noel McGrath made a run out to right half forward and then went back in. You would think that they would play Lar Corbett in near the goal, but he probably strike this over the bar.
Well, he belted one earlier on, and Cahill Naughton just running across, and for that the ball has moved into an even more central position. Naughton clearly trying to distract Pa Burke, but remember earlier on Burke shaped as if he was going to go for goal and belted it over. I wonder, will he try and really concern all of these Cork defenders? And Nash in the goal. Burke drills it. Came off a stick and then off the post, I think, but Cork able to clear with Owen Cadigan. There is the whistle for the end of the first half. The first half of this match is over, and Cork leading by 14 points to 12, and it's been a thrilling match, hasn't it?
Thriller, Dara, but that was a silly decision by Pa Burke. You know, you tap it over the bar, you're going to have time just to point down against the breeze, and you know,
certainly an open, free-flowing game, lots of great scores, and great entertainment.
Yeah, real traditional Munster hurling, really. You know, none of the spoiling tactics as we see as it goes on later on to semi-finals and finals of the championship. Now, a few noticeable things in it is the way Tipperary are playing. They're not catching the ball, they're breaking the ball. You know, just batting it down. And that's leading to a lot of broken ball around the middle of the field. It's been picked up and it's been moved like lightning to the full forward line. Both sides are doing that, you know, and that has led to a lot of, you know, forwards getting space. And when they get the space, they're taking advantage of it and putting it over the bar. Now, Tipperary are hitting the ball in really low into their forwards. You know, we were saying before, not able to cope with the high ball.
Yeah.
But the Cork backs, especially their full back line, are reading it really well. And Cadigan is commanding the centre very, very strongly, although Bonner Maher is involved in all kinds of rucks and all kinds of action that's there. But overall, like, we have, you know, all the Cork forwards have scored from play. Yeah. You know, only two of the of the Tipperary forwards haven't scored for play, and one of their midfielders have. So it's a really open, enjoyable game, and as Donald O'Grady was said there, it's no wonder the spectators and everybody watching, I'm sure, are really enjoying it, because this is the kind of hurling we like to see.
They've certainly got value for money from what they've seen over the first 35 minutes. Sir, looking back at some of those Cork scores that they got in the first half, it's likely to get it.
Well, if you want a goal,
Lara's the man.
Lara's the man, and Donald was saying there he's on at wing forward, but I imagine in the second half now at the wind that he'll go into full forward or corner forward maybe.
Corner, yeah.
And maybe Seamus Canlon come on, because it's just one of those days so far when there's nothing going right for John O'Brien. So, maybe he'll come on. Now, another thing that Donald said before the game was the influence that Shane McGrath might have. He's playing absolutely terrific at midfield. He's holding the midfield for Tipperary, because Brendan Maher, I know he scored a point just before half-time, but he wasn't in the game at all before that. But Shane McGrath playing really, really well there. So Cork, on the other hand, will be very happy with all the players are playing. So I wouldn't see any change in the Cork team, but Tipperary, now is the time, maybe Lara inside, maybe Cannon outside, because this is the 35 minutes that's going to decide really the rest of the year for them.
No, it is indeed. Back then to the commentary box to rejoin Darragh Maloney and Donald O'Grady.
Michael, thank you. Welcome back. Tipperary, as the lads mentioned, will have the aid of the breeze, which is getting, if anything, a little stronger at the start of this second half. The ball breaks loose, and Darren Sweetenham, no changes either side, by the way. Lar Corbett is still in what appears to be a wing forward position for Tipperary, but it's Cork on the attack with Paddy O'Sullivan, who got 1 point in the first half, just threw that away. It was intended for Park Cronin.
So it's obviously they're moving around, but Brian O'Mara has dropped out a little bit deeper into the middle of the field.
Great cut from Brendan Maher, but it was Owen Cadigan's, and then he lost it. For Tipperary, the Bonamara lets it go to Brian O'Mara in that half-forward position. The Tipperary man bearing down. William Egan of Cork is there with him, and O'Mara really gave that everything, and he's put it over for the first point of the second half. He buried that, Brian O'Mara. It was a great run, and again, as we saw in the first half, he's so hard to stop when he does this.
Yeah, when he gets going, Darragh, he has a good bit of speed about him. He's not that great to pick up breaking ball, but great speed.
Point between them. Tom Stapleton of Tipperary juggling with that. It was very nicely done by the Cork fullback Brian Murphy. Conor Lahan unable to get to it. Cahill knocked it. Park Cronin putting some distance on that. It was for Jamie Coughlin, and Coughlin fouled by Paul Curran. Free into Cork. He's a live wire, that guy.
Yeah, well, a good ball across the area.
The Cork captain Patrick Horgan seeking and getting his 8th point. 6 of them from frees, point apiece since the resumption.
And psychologically, that's always important, because once there's a score in, right, that that's the tackle there. Not a whole lot in it, I think. And but once you get back, and once one side scored, the other side come back, that's very, very big psychologically for you.
Bonamara trying to win that in the air. It's well done by William Egan of Cork, though. Now Tom Kenny. No, indeed, it's at Lorcan McLaughlin. Park Cronin couldn't hold on to that. He got a hold of a tip man and knocked him to the ground. And that was the foul.
Yeah, no need for that. The ball was gone, so you just there, but you don't foul him.
Tara Burke, if the 45-metre line was there, he'd be pretty close to it. The tip one.
Yeah, but at the risk of repeating myself, Darragh, I'm not a great fan of forwards coming way out the pitch to take frees unless they're noted for it, and I think Tara Burke's range is about 60-70 metres.
Cronin drifting out onto Stapleton. Tara Burke. Thomas Stapleton helping it. Clever little ball. Conor O'Mahony firing that up. Brilliant from John O'Brien. Here they go. Lar Corbett. That combination we've seen in this field before. Corbett juggling with it. Brian O'Mara's there with him. O'Mara may yet make something out of this. He's dragged down by Cadigan, but the referee's given the free the other way. He's given the free the other way. Brian O'Mara been told to get up by referee.
We saw last week there, I think that Darragh Conan came on and lost the ball, and Lar lost the initial one there. Ball bobbled out of his hands. Lack of match practice, Darragh. Last year or even earlier this year, if he was playing, that ball was in his paw and just
hand pass in the build-up to that from John O'Brien, just firing it into Corbett's path as he ran onto it at pace. Anthony Nash belting that down again. It's Park Cronin who's the target, and he's got it eventually. 3 tipmen around him. William Egan for Cork. Now, Paddy O'Sullivan steadies down. He got one in the first half. That's a gorgeous point. He had a lot to do, made the space for himself so well and fired it over. 3 ahead now.
Yeah, lovely. Paddy Maher losing it for initially in the air then. Nice little turn there, shortened the hurley and straight out the bar. Great score.
Tipperary free. Lark
The same in 10 years' time, Dara, when we look at him.
I'm sure. Here's Pa Burke right on halfway. What does he think of that one? That's gone over.
Yeah, fine score from Pa Burke again. Very confident with the freeze, and anywhere from the 65 in, I think that you know, he's showing great ability today.
Now a little. He starts the game. Tom Stapleton made an early move to get to that. He missed it. So did Cronin. Conor O'Mahony didn't. Challenged by Sweetenham and Lorcan McLaughlin. Great skill from Conor O'Mahony, pulling on it in the air. That was intended for Noel McGrath. Didn't get to him. Cork backs doing well. Owen Cadigan had it, then lost it. The dual star. Conor O'Sullivan. Good vision. Lorcan McLaughlin. That wasn't such good vision. There was nobody in red near that as he took the ball forward. Tom Stapleton has been busy and very effective for Tipperary. Down on top of Pa Burke. Now John O'Brien improvising again. Here's the Bonner-Marr, and he's been fouled. Oh, there could have been a goal chance there for John O'Brien. The referee's whistle, we could hear it clearly.
And he released John O'Brien there, Brian Murphy being booked. But he released John O'Brien there for what might have been a certain goal, and I think Cork will be delighted with that.
Pa Burke again. Missed a few from further out, but from that sort of range, scores those in his sleep. Point between them again. Again, once more, Cork target Cronin, and that means it's a busy time for Tom Stapleton, and it's a Cork Cummins, the Tipperary goalkeeper. Effortless swipe at that, and it'll come straight back out. Really good play from Paul Curran, the tip fullback. Lar Corbett hasn't been able to get on it in the last couple of minutes. Owen Cadigan driving out for Cork. Conor Lehane, here's his chance now to run at Conor O'Mahony. Lehane has pace to burn. O'Mahony is staying with him all the way, but Lehane goes past him. O'Mahony taken out of the game, and Lehane took too much out of that. Tipperary with men back there, Conor O'Brien, and they managed to snuff it out. Lehane, perhaps he was surprised to get away from Conor O'Mahony as he stumbled, but he took too much out of that. Here's William Egan of Cork. Pace of this lifts again. Cork leading by a point. Cahill knocked it. Got one in the first half. Pádraig Maher in front of him. Knocked it. Swinging at that, and a tester for Brendan Cummins. Did extremely well, the Tipperary goalkeeper. The Bonner-Marr, brilliant. From the Tipperary centre forward. Lar Corbett running off with John O'Brien. Corbett is free. Just a little bit behind him. Here's Lar Corbett for Tipperary. Lets it go. Goal chance, and it's buried in the back of the net by Noel McGrath. The comeback man involved in it, Noel McGrath, burying it past Anthony Nash. Is that the decisive move?
Great catch from Patrick Bonner-Marr there, and this guy has great vision, and he picked out John O'Brien and Lord Calvert. Noel McGrath steadied himself and stuck it in the corner. Great goal from Tip.
Cian McCarthy is going to come in as we watch the referee issue a yellow card to Conor O'Mahony.
Yeah, I think what that's about was the tackles on Conor Lehane as he went through. I think used the hurley a little bit, and that's great refereeing. I think Dara, that he didn't stop up to play them, but a little bit of inexperience from Conor Lehane that he didn't play like the All Blacks do.
Cian McCarthy will be in next time we get the opportunity for Cork. Here's Pádraig Maher. Rare chance for him to surge forward. Pádraig Maher for Tipperary. Maybe that is the move. He punches the air in delight. Pádraig Maher of Thurles Sarsfields and Tipperary. Goal between them.
He's excellent at this, coming forward there and just slipped the hurley up high, slipped it over the barn. That's a big score now for Tip, and they lead by a goal.
In the blink of an eye, Cathal Naughton gone off the Cork team. Cian McCarthy, we're told, from Sarsfields, Teddy's lad, of course, absolutely flying in some recent challenge matches. Well, now he gets his chances. He fluffs the first one that came to him, and Conor O'Mahony belts it forward for Tipperary, and that is high on Brian Murphy. Now, John O'Brien was booked in the first half, and he's gone. Tipperary down to 14 players. John O'Brien with a yellow card against him and sent off here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. They lead by a goal, but now they're a man down.
Well, you would have to say that was a needless tackle, and John O'Brien's an experienced player. Just see Brian Murphy coming onto the ball, and he just tapped him, you know, nothing much in it, but a tap around the head is a stray yellow card, and you would have thought that he would have been very, very careful.
It's the fellas out in the field who've got to deal with it even more than Declan Ryan. Anthony Nash belting that forward, and now Páidí O'Sullivan. Next score will be interesting. They should get one from this free. Páidí O'Sullivan really pumped up for Cork.
He's doing particularly well on Paul Curran. Any ball that's going in, he's you know, he's winning it, and he's doing very, very well.
And Patrick Horgan continuing to do his stuff. The Tip team. Brian O'Mara trying to pick that up. Brian Murphy there for Cork, and then Conor O'Sullivan. Conor Lahan, open road in front of him. Look at Noel McGrath working hard to try and get back at him, but Usain Bolt wouldn't get near him. Conor Lahan with the shot for Cork. It's just tailing away. Jamie Coughlin there after it. Michael Cahan for Tipperary. He is teeth tough, and they've got a free out, Tipperary. Another Cork.
Well, Carney is more of a running type player, type of a Jerry O'Connor type player. If he gets on the ball, he's very, very good at taking the ball past the opposing half back line and letting it go. So it'll be interesting to see how he does now in his first big championship game.
Brendan Cummins with the free. It's got very dark overhead. The Bonner-Marr lets it off. Here's Brendan Marr for Tipperary. Nice point. Nice point.
Yeah, you would think with Cork with superior numbers that they'd have extra defensive cover, but that can happen when you have 14 men. You know, somebody looks around to see who's marking who, and players get lost. Simple point by Brendan Marr.
Goal between them again. Daniel Carney, Pa Cronin. It's not going to hit its mark, and actually hit the Cork man's stick in the second half as well. Brendan Cummins gets the ball back in play for Lark Corbett, still out at wing forward. Lorcan McLaughlin for Cork. Corbett is there with him. McLaughlin weaving one way, then the other. Shortens it down. Páidí O'Sullivan. Cian McCarthy. McCarthy steadies down, and he's got his point. Very fine point. Lorcan McLaughlin did a lot of the hard work out the field. Of Cian McCarthy flying in challenge matches and going went here already.
Well, you would have to say that Lorcan McLaughlin is playing very, very well for Cork today. He's been very, very busy, very high work rate, and he's using the ball well when he gets it. And that's Cork's modus operandi. Get the ball, have a look and see what's happening, and an excellent score by Cian McCarthy. He has a very, very good bit of pace if he can get free.
Brian O'Mara put the hand up, he lost the stick and ultimately the ball. Shane McGrath there, and Brian O'Mara has reunited himself with his Hurley, but he's hurt himself as the ball was pucked harmlessly towards Anthony Nash. Clever little ball, keeping it low to Lorcan McLaughlin, and here he goes. He can run with the ball on the stick, but decides to let it move. Fires it in. Cummins coming out of his line. Good goalkeeping. Very good goalkeeping. The most experienced goalkeeper in the country. The record holder fires that forward. William Egan out there. It came off the shins of Noel McGrath. Back with Conor O'Sullivan. The pace of it's gone up again. Owen Cadigan. Cadigan fires that up towards Patrick Horgan. Now it is Cian McCarthy. He's got one already. Spins round, spots a man in a better position. That was Páidí O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan gets the point for Cork and punches the air in delight. Moving nicely now.
Yeah, lovely score by Cork. Good control and lovely pass across. Páidí O'Sullivan might have taken on, and he had Jamie Call on his shoulder, but an excellent point, and Cork coming back into it.
They are indeed just one behind, two in a row for Cork. Pádraig Marr lashes that forward towards Noel McGrath, but always favoured the defenders. William Egan, clever, and Shane O'Neill completes the clearance, sending it back down towards Pádraig Maher. Caught it in the air brilliantly. That's what he's so good at, amongst other things. Here's another one. Lehane went flying at him. Pádraig Maher steadies down, but didn't get the shot over the line. He was limping, but he's got a heavy strapping on his left leg, and they may be about to bring Shane Burke in. Here comes Conor Lehane for Cork. There was no pressure on him at all, and Tipperary just switched off. Brian O'Mara going off the Tipperary team. Level for the second time. Lehane firing this over.
Yeah, what Cork should be doing now, Dara, is running at the tip defence, and every time their half-backs get the ball, use the extra man and run at the tip midfield and run at the defence, and use short ball then up to the forwards to run a tip and try and execute the scores from there, because Paddy Sullivan, Jamie Collin and Pat Horgan look especially sharp.
Shane Burke on for Tipperary, as you can see. Shane McGrath had Daniel Carney with him for company, but McGrath has open field in front of him. He should score. There was no pressure on him, but he's let it tail to the right.
But when he looked inside, maybe there was nobody else inside looking for the ball. Patrick Maher was at the edge of the square, but Tip's movement has lagged a little bit inside the full forward line now.
Conor O'Mahony of Tip. Tom Stapleton. Oh, Conor O'Sullivan read that well and left Noel McGrath in his wake. O'Sullivan with bad memories coming in here of playing Tipperary 4 years ago, and it was Lar Corbett who led him a merry dance, but O'Sullivan has done well. There is Shane Burke free in, and an opportunity for Pa and replace Brendan Maher. Woodlock started the last day.
Yeah, and he's a good runner with the ball, you know, holds on to it a little bit long at times, takes the wrong option, but definite plus, and he'll add a bit of impetus to Tip in the middle of the field.
So Pa Burke with the free for Tipperary. Important strike of the ball, and he slotted that over the bar, and Tip nudge in front again. Down to 14 players. Remember, Pat Cronin had his hand on that. McGrath there also. Here's Tom Stapleton. Got through a lot of work for Tipperary. That's a Tipperary line ball. Tip still with Owen Kelly in reserve, remember, and Cork with Sean Ogue and John Gardner waiting patiently on their subs bench. Shane McGrath will cut this for the Munster champions. Cut it extremely well. It ran away from Shane Burke, but he's back on it. But there's Owen Callaghan sweeping up behind his half-backs. Hadn't really been put under pressure by Shane Burke, and Callaghan forced into the mistake. Loose clearance. Pa Burke has been really good from the frees and good from open play as well. And they've opened up a 2-point lead.
Well, Callaghan will be very disappointed with himself there, because he had the ball no way out, and Brian Murphy in the perfect supporting position behind him was open for the pass, and he elected to hit it straight to Pa Burke, straight over the bar.
Pa Burke is the go-to man for Anthony Nash from the puck out. Still they favour him, and still they struggle to get possession. But that's gone out over the line, and it's actually been called as a Tipperary line ball.
You see just the final flick by Cork's Jamie Coughlin there, and sideline ball for Tip. This is a crucial period in the game now, coming up to the hour mark. The next 5 minutes are going to be crucial. You would look that Cork probably need a goal, Dara, to win it at this stage, and Tip with just 5 forwards. They need to be very accurate as they supply their forwards, rather than just belting the ball in anywhere.
Shane McGrath taking great care as he placed the slitter to cut it. It'll come straight back though. Tom Kenny of Cork. Flicked down by Patrick Horgan, and he's got away from his man Horgan. Clever little hand pass outside to the free man. Jamie Coughlin, the 20-year-old, has made a really fine championship debut and fires that one over.
Grand good score here again from Tip. Nice pass from Patrick Horgan to Jamie Coughlin in space, and the game has really opened up now. Loads of green areas, and you know, whatever team uses that ball best of all will win it.
Noel McGrath has it for Tipperary, and that was comfortable again. They did that many times during the first half. Wonderful ball fired in, I think, by Shane Burke, and McGrath had space and time and did this.
great score. But you'd be expecting Cork with 6 defenders. There's someone to stick like Luton or McGrath. He's one of the most experienced and dangerous forwards that Tip have.
Here comes Jamie Coughlin. 2 Tipperary men. And they've robbed it back off him. I think Shane McGrath has the ball in his hand, and he's got a free as well. Conor O'Mahony with the free for Tipperary. Home advantage, many thought would be a big advantage for Cork. Tipperary with great experience in their team. They've been in the last 3 All-Ireland finals. Shane O'Neill pulling on that. Bonamar down in a dangerous position. The ball is there as well too, but now it's in the hands of Conor O'Sullivan for Cork. Calm play. Nash gives that absolutely everything to try and get Cork moving forward again. Patrick Horgan missed it. Tony O'Sullivan couldn't get to it, and there's Pádraig Maher for Tipperary. Driving out, but he's hooked by O'Sullivan. He's got help though from Shane McGrath. Now onto it is Tom Stapleton, has had a really fine game for Tipperary just until that moment as he puts it into the corner. But Shane Burke sets off like a freight train, and there in front of him, Conor O'Sullivan. Cork deal with that nicely. Daniel Carney. Again, it's direct into the full forward line. Pa Cronin couldn't get to it. Cleared for Tipperary by Conor O'Brien. Frantic moments. Here's Pa Burke. Great catch from Burke. He's got a free man to his left and also behind. Noel McGrath there. McGrath steadies down, shoots and scores for Tipperary. That is a quality point after a frantic passage of play.
Yeah, and that's excellent score again from Noel McGrath. He's having a blinder here today, and Pa Burke is supporting him very well. Great supporting position here, and just had a quick look and stuck it over the bar, but that all coming from Daniel Carney, just hitting a speculative lob up to the Cork forwards. As I said, hitting shorter ball and hoping to put him in possession.
Luke Farrell will be in for Cork next time we get the opportunity, which may well happen now. Luke wearing number 25 from Middleton, and it's Conor Lehane who's making way. Luke, another one of these talented youngsters that Cork have, and they're very talented and also well up to the big day, and today a huge day for them. Unsure of themselves after the league final beating at the hands of Kilkenny, but that happens to so many teams. Tipperary down to 14 players, a goal between them. Bonamar and Noel McGrath. Little turn allows him to weigh up the options. Pa Burke is one of them. Another one. Here's Lar Corbett. Corbett taken down by Conor O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan may see yellow for that challenge. If Corbett had got away from it, there was half of a goal-scoring opportunity for the great man, but Conor O'Sullivan, a yellow card for the Cork man.
Well, there wasn't much else he could do, Dara, and I think if he had not fouled him, he would have gone straight through. Yeah. So that would be a kind of a bonus there for Cork, in that they concede a point rather than the goal.
Pa Burke lining this up. Fourth Cork player to be booked is Conor O'Sullivan and Pa Burke. While they're down to 14 players, they really have responded in some fashion.
Lovely toss from Pa Burke, and a lovely jink from Lar Corbett. He was gone through, and left the Hurling in, and a free for Tip.
Pádraig Maher, that was taken away from Maher. Now an opportunity for Cork. They need a point, and Daniel Carney has given it to them. They're not gone away yet by any means, and still plenty of time for Cork. Goal between them.
Good catch there by Keane McCarthy, and just released the ball to his clubmate Daniel Carney, and Cork stay in touch.
Under 6 minutes of the 70 remain. Waterford await the winners in the Munster final, which will take place in the middle of July.
Brendan Cummins is targeting Lar Corbett down that wing, and they've had a bit of good fortune there. Ball just knocked out of the line, but they're doing very, very well on that side, and Tip with 40 men, 3 points up.
Just a reminder, 10:10 tonight on RT2, the Sunday game with Des Cahill. An awful lot to get through, and another very busy weekend of Gaelic games. Shane McGrath with the cut for Tipperary. Oh, and William Eagle juggling with that, did well. A goal between them. Daniel Carney clears for Cork. Pádraig Maher sets off in chase, and again putting the ball anywhere near him usually brings this result, particularly in the second half. Marr, that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Marr. Now Jamie Coughlin. Keane McCarthy fires that in. Now Luke Farrell. Michael Cahill there with him, and Cahill penalised, free in coming up for Cork. 3 between them. If Patrick Horgan can do his stuff, they're back to within 2.
Well, I think that's the type of play that Cork need to use the ball a little, you know, a little shorter, and then let their half forwards have a look and you know, put the ball in front of the runner inside, and that gets them a free.
That's the foul. You're going to hear a big roar from the Tipperary followers here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Owen Kelly's going to come in.
It was Padraig Marr giving the ball straight to Jimmy Cullen, but he used it very, very well, and this is a big pressure free for Pat Horgan now.
Got one from a similar sort of angle down at the other end in the first half. Not easy, pucking off his right, and Patrick Horgan has done his stuff. Yeah, white flag goes up, so back to within 2.
Yeah, but you made the point out just earlier, Daniel Carney hit a huge ball up and it was gobbled up by Padraig Marr. I know he gave it away afterwards, but Cork, I think, should move the ball, you know, 40, 50 metre passes rather than just speculative lobs, and Owen Kelly coming in, you know, big Philip.